people like that are afraid of their image being tarnished by the dominant white society. And that is, again, it's an institutional or systematic way to destroy black people. That's another part of racism, white supremacy. They are afraid of their image and their legacy from being ruined by the court of public opinion. It's just that simple. All right, you already know what it is. Chauncey, aka GMOGMedia with another GMOGMediaTV spotlight outside in the backyard. Weather is feeling great. All right, family, today's topic, I want to talk about why black people say all lives matter. All right, I'm gonna break it down for you guys in this video. Before I start on my commentary, once again, if you're new, my name is Chauncey, aka GMOGMedia. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect black people collectively as a group, and I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, white supremacy, with a system of justice. So if you subscribe to that ideology, please subscribe to the channel. If you don't, you know what to do. Click off, exit the website, your phone or whatever. Is just that simple. All right, so let's proceed with the topic. Like I said, I want to talk about why black people are saying all lives matter. All right, so there was a recent video, and I'll play it for you guys in a minute. Recent video of one of my favorite boxers of all time, you know, in the limelight again. He's doing these interviews, man, you know, and making sure that he put his foot in his mouth pertaining to issues regarding black people. Floyd Mayweather, you know, he talked about the issue with Colin Kaepernick, how he felt about that. I'll play the audio so you guys know what I'm talking about. He talked about the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff, and he put his foot in the mouth in the Coon Train, man. He's still a part of the Coon Train, and he's a lifetime member with a passenger seat on the Coon Train. All right, and you know, I've also did a video, a reaction video with Layla Ali, who talked about all lives matter. You know, all of these entertainers and athletes, they're on this ideology of all lives matter. Everybody is equal. Everybody needs to be, you know, treated equally, etc., etc. And I'm gonna break it down for you guys in this video. But let me play the clip real quick of Floyd Mayweather talking about Colin Kaepernick, you know, and also mentioning Black Lives Matter. So I'm gonna play the clip right now for you guys. Here we go.
So I'm here to say all lives matter. You know, a lot of times we get stuck. We get stuck, and we're followers. When you hear one person say, Black Lives Matters or Blue Lives Matters, all lives matter. And what I learned from boxing, what everyone can take in real life, is follow directions, follow order. Don't give nobody no hard time, because my thing is this, with everybody that's watching this interview and that's listening, because this interview will be played long when I'm gone. When someone breaking your house or someone breaking your car, the first thing we do is we call the police. You know, with me being a fighter and my hands being registered, if I hit a guy for breaking in my house or breaking in my car, it's gonna cost me more money. So I got to work smarter, not harder. I'm gonna call the cops. So, and it's not right what's going on within this world on both sides. I think we need to communicate better, and I think we need to follow direction. It's rules and regulations to everything.
What do you think of Colin Kaepernick protest?
I'm Floyd Mayweather. Kaepernick need to try to get the starting job. You know, stand up and get the starting job. That's what he need to focus on. But I can't knock him. If that's what he believe in, you know, and the people stand behind him, you know, so be it. He got the #1 selling jersey, so it's obvious he's doing something right.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard it there first. The brother said Colin Kaepernick needs to worry about starting. All right. Then before that, he said all lives matter. And when he gets in trouble, he needs to call the police, because if he takes it into his own hands, and that could be a double entendre, if he takes it into his own hands, you know, he could get in trouble, right? So it's clear the brother obviously has a very extreme disconnect with his own history, right? Extreme disconnect. And of course, like I said before, it's a classic case of the miseducation of the Negro. He's clearly misguided, clearly miseducated. And you know, the thing about it is, family, why people like Floyd Mayweather, Layla Ali, and other athletes and entertainers, they say all lives matter, they're neutral about black issues, etc., etc., it's because the court of public opinion will kill them. The court of public opinion, which is owned and controlled by the dominant white society, aka mainstream media, they will kill them. Okay? They are afraid of their image being tarnished by mainstream media, which again is controlled by the dominant white society. And so we live in a system of racism, white supremacy. Like I keep saying, they control all 9 areas of activity. That's economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, right? And so when you have these athletes and entertainers who are so caught up in their own image, for instance, Floyd Mayweather, right? He's not contractually obligated to any white-owned conglomerate businesses, right? He's not endorsed by any of these companies. He doesn't have endorsement deals, although he is the wealthiest, if not one of the wealthiest athletes on the planet. But he does not have any endorsement deals with these white-owned conglomerates compared to people like, you know, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James, right? They have endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, etc., right? So Floyd Mayweather does not, but what he has is he has an image to protect. He wants his image to be a great boxer and to be neutral on issues pertaining black people. If he sat down and say, yes, black lives do matter and the injustices of black and brown people in this country, I want him to take a stand on that, right? And help replace this broken system of injustice with the system of justice. If he says something like that, instead of just being neutral and having the, you know, talking points of a coon or a suspected white supremacist, he would be ostracized by the dominant white media, right? So people like that are afraid of their image being tarnished by the dominant white society. And that is, again, it's an institutional or systematic way to destroy black people. That's another part of racism, white supremacy. They are afraid of their image and their legacy from being ruined by the court of public opinion. It's just that simple. All right. And again, family, this is going to continue to happen with these other athletes and entertainers who say the same thing, all lives matter, etc., etc. Now, the thing about Black Lives Matter, right? The movement itself, okay, you guys know, I've already said this before. The movement itself was started by a suspected white supremacist. It was funded by George Soros. The movement itself really doesn't do anything for black people. It's just an idea. The idea of Black Lives Matter, of course, is extremely important. Black lives never mattered in this country ever since 1619, when the first slave set his foot on the soil of the wilderness of North America. Since 1619, black people have been mistreated, dominated, subjugated, executed, etc. for over 400 years, right? So Black lives never matter. That's why the Black Lives Matter movement in this new social media age with the hashtag. So it's just an idea construct, but the actual movement itself really doesn't cater to black people, because you have the actual president of Black Lives Matter who's gay, right? And so really, it's, to be honest with you, it's really gay lives matter. The LGBT community basically was the foundation of Black Lives Matter. It was started by 3 women, funded by suspected white supremacists, and now the leader, the so-called leader of it, is a gay guy, okay? Which his name escapes me right now, but it is by a homosexual, all right? So again, the idea construct of Black Lives Matter was founded off the mistreatment, subjugation, the executions of black people, and the social injustices and the social ills of black people in this country. That's why the Black Lives Movement started. But the ideology is very relevant because black lives, right, really don't matter ever since 1619. Now, a lot of people talk about, especially suspected white supremacists and coons, they talk about, oh, you had to respect law enforcement, you got to respect them, obey them, etc., right? And obviously that's a whole bunch of BS, okay? People who talk like that don't know their history. We could look at recent history, obviously. Look at the mistreatment, subjugation, domination, and the execution of black people in this country, right? Justifiable homicides by unarmed black men, women, and children. I'll bring it up on the screen right now. You'll see the amount of people who are killed by police officers in the U.S. from the Guardian.com, which is called The Counted. You look at the people right now, okay, black people who were shot and killed by police officers in the U.S. right now. Okay, you break it down by race, you see the amount of black people who were shot and killed, okay, by suspected race soldiers in this country, okay? And again, that's part of the reason why the Black Lives Matter movement was started. But people talking about you have to respect law enforcement. A real brief history lesson, okay? The oldest law enforcement agency in the U.S. is the U.S. Marshals. They were created in 1789, okay? The 1789 Judiciary Act was created by the dominant white society to enforce laws created by the U.S. government. All right? That's the reason why the U.S. Marshals were implemented, to enforce laws created by the U.S. government, aka the dominant white society. All right? So now, 4 years later, you had a law in place called the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793. All right, U.S. Marshals were forced. Okay, they had no choice basically. But U.S. Marshals had to enforce laws to ensure that runaway slaves were captured and taken back to their slave masters. Later on in the 1800s, exactly 1850, a federal law was mandated called the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 was created to make sure that any slave that left their slave owner's property was taken back to their slave owners by a U.S. Marshal. Again, this country was built on racism, white supremacy, tyranny, execution, domination, subjugation of black people in this country for over 400 years, ever since 1619 in Jamestown, Virginia, when the first slave set foot in this country. All right? So when people talk about respect law enforcement, we can't respect law enforcement for the simple fact that you guys were enforcing laws that were later found unconstitutional by the so-called Emancipation Proclamation. All right? That's the reason why black people are still in fear of the suspected race soldiers. That black people have a higher percentage of being shot and killed by suspected race soldiers in this country compared to white people. Now, they say statistically white people are killed more by police officers in this country. That's true. Simple math will tell you that there's more white people in this country than there are black people, right? But statistics say, and I'll bring it up on the screen, stats say that black people have a higher percentage of being shot and killed by suspected race soldiers in this country. Those are just facts. Those are just facts, and it's always been that way for many, many, many years. Many years. All right, family? So again, the All Lives Matter thing with these athletes and these entertainers and these coons or whatever the case may be by black people, when they say all lives matter, again, they are afraid to ruin their image controlled by the dominant white society, which is the court of public opinion. All right? It's clear these guys are lost Negroes. They're afraid of losing endorsements. They're afraid of their image being tarnished and ruined, etc., all because the dominant white society, aka racism, white supremacy, controlling the narrative. That's why black media is so important. black media, true black media, which doesn't depend on the infrastructure of Google, okay? Because I depend on Google. And all of these other YouTubers, these black YouTubers, they depend on the Google infrastructure to get the information out there. I'm talking about true independent black media. And there's no such thing right now as independent black media. Yes, TV One is not independent, okay? They have a deal with Comcast. Comcast and TV One have a joint venture. There is no 100% independent black media, which is why we need to start right now. I've always said we have to stop depending on the dominant white society's resources. The first thing we have to do is create a website, a video sharing website that rivals a YouTube, that rivals a Google. We have to stop depending on the dominant white society's resources, family. That's very important. So black media is very important so that we can control our narrative, where black people are not afraid to say how they feel, and afraid of if they say something wrong, they'll lose endorsements, or they're afraid of their image being tarnished. Black media needs to be out in the forefront, family. It's very important. That's why black media and information technology go hand in hand. I'm a huge advocate on both. We have to own and control the infrastructure, and we have to own and control our own media. It's just that simple, family. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about in today's topic: why black people say all lives matter. Let me know what you guys think down below. All right, family. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, this is Chauncey, aka Karima, Great Man of God Media, signing out. Peace.